I will always have Manhattan. For 30 years, I either went to college there, lived there, and or worked there. I'm originally from Hawaii, and I'm often asked, why did you leave Hawaii? Why leave paradise? My answer goes back to my childhood. My mom used to take the kids to the library every Sunday. Now, of course, I read age-appropriate books, but I also snuck away to the magazine section. And there, on the glossy pages of Harper's Bazaar and Vogue, were images of an ultimate urban paradise sprang to life in my mind. I felt like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, only the place that I yearned for was somewhere over and beyond the Hawaiian rainbow. Flash forward, I was a student at the University of Hawaii. My boyfriend, Ray, was from a well-to-do family. When Ray introduced me to his mom, she looked at me and said dismissively, "Fashion design? You have to go to New York for that." So I did. I transferred to the New York Fashion Institute of Technology, otherwise known as FIT. I arrived in the Big Apple 1 week after my 20th birthday. I'd like to share a slice of my days as a student and a fledgling designer. One memorable school excursion was to an area of town that had defunct factories. The bus dropped us off in front of a building. It was broad daylight, but the street looked dark and desolate. It felt post-apocalyptic, like a scene from the movie Escape from New York. We made our way up a narrow flight of stairs into the showroom and design studio of Valerie Poor. Her workspace, showroom, kitchen, and even sleeping area were all in full view because this was Manhattan factory loft space. Valerie entertained us with tales of her life as a designer, and she absolutely sparkled as she told us about her line of innovative garments made from hand-painted silk. She was among a handful of urban artists who pioneered gentrification of this now famous area called Soho. Over time, Soho was rebuilt into an East Coast equivalent of Rodeo Drive, only on steroids, as New York can be. Well, I graduated FIT with honors, yay. My first job was at Manhattan Industries, parent company of Perry Ellis, a major designer at the time. I was hired by another designer at the same company, Charlotte Neville, to be her assistant. I showed up to work on the first day, nervous as heck. Fortunately, Charlotte said, today, we're going to help out at Perry Ellis's runway show. Wow. It was so exciting to work behind the scenes and then to watch the show afterwards. But the rest of my week did not go well. I just couldn't shake my hyper nervousness about proving myself. I spilled coffee on my desk, all over Charlotte's desk, 3 times in 4 days. At the end of the week, Charlotte fired me, saying that she needed a better illustrator. I was crushed, but she had some words of encouragement and wisdom for me. Carol, you have something special Don't you forget it. Well, fortunately and thankfully, it was not difficult to get another low-paying entry-level job. But I remembered what Charlotte said, I have something special. So armed with that belief, I went from job to better job to better job, gaining valuable experience until I landed my dream job. And I'd love to tell you that story sometime soon. I will always have Manhattan, and I will always be the girl from Hawaii. The East-West dichotomy is who I am. My stories are important because your stories are important. We trade stories because we're all part of this human experiment called life. We seek resonance and inspiration so we can meet our challenges, grow, and express ourselves. So tell your stories. Tell them right here at Del Mar Toastmasters. Pass them on to your children and grandchildren. Who knows, you might even write a book like Eileen Lundquist. Tell your children and grandchildren, you have something special. My favorite quote from that poet anonymous goes, the meaning of life is to discover your innate gifts. The purpose of life is to share them with as many as possible. Mr. Toastmaster,